Hello and welcome to round 2 of the Parenting Roundabout podcast. I'm Terry Morrow and I'm here with Catherine Haleko.
Hello.
Usually on this podcast we talk about parenting issues, but once a week, Catherine and I like to get together to discuss TV, movies, books, and other entertainment topics because it's nice to talk about something other than parenting for a change. This week we are continuing with our watch of the second season of Veronica Mars with one episode from the second season, the 16th. But first, Dancing with the Stars! We entered this season of Dancing with the Stars with a fair amount of trepidation because fairly recently, during the ramp-up for this season, Tom Bergeron did not have his contract extended. I think it's not like he was fired, but they just declined to pick him up again. Mm-hmm. And along with that, Erin Andrews also leaving. Erin Andrews, I liked perfectly fine. I had nothing against her. She wouldn't be a deal breaker. But Tom, come on! Tom is Dancing with the Stars.
Yes.
So there was a certain feeling amongst all the fan pages that I read, and myself and you, Catherine, that, well, that's it. We're done with Dancing with the Stars. We're not going to watch it without him. Solidarity, you know? But, of course, its spangly charms lure us in to see just exactly what kind of hot mess this is going to be. When they announced the stars, Justina Machado, who we've enjoyed on One Day at a Time, is on it. And I don't know if there's anybody else I was all that curious about, but I wanted to watch it for her to see how she did. And just, check in. Watch one episode of it, and if we hate it, we never have to watch it again. Or we can hate watch it. Right. Which is certainly what most of the chat pages I was looking at were doing. So here we come to episode 1 of season 29, hosted now, as well as executive produced, I believe, by Tyra Banks, whom I don't have a whole lot of history with. I haven't watched any of her shows other than there was a Disney movie she did where she was a doll who came to life. That's about all my daughter knows of her, and that's pretty much about all I know of her, too. But there was a fear that she would not be a good host for this show. I mean, over and above the fact that she's replacing somebody who was an excellent host for this show.
Yeah.
So even coming in, she's already at a 4. Whatever is the lowest score the judges will give. And she was not good. Boy, was she not good.
She really wasn't. She cannot think on her feet like Tom can.
She was not even good in a train wreck fabulous kind of way. She was just not good.
Just kind of lame.
Yeah, exactly.
Tom was very good at just little witty smooth quips and, smooth transitions. She was not doing any of that.
It could not have been a starker contrast, honestly. And so that's a problem, I think. Mm-hmm. That's always going to be a glaring thing. And she's made it so much about her. The artwork for the some of the ads for the show were all her. Big emphasis on her. So you have to be offering something.
Right.
if you're going to take that much of the spotlight.
They basically had her replacing Tom and Erin. So there wasn't even, the little back and forth between them or the little break between them. I mean, they wouldn't have had time on this particular episode. They wouldn't have time for anybody else talking because there were so many people dancing.
That is another thing. Is it always this many?
Oh my gosh. It was
I guess
so
I know
many.
The first episode always feels like there are still so many more people to go.
Right.
It was a lot. And you also then feel like if you're feeling bad that Tom's not there, and then the judges are all, Tyra, welcome, it's so wonderful to have you. And then you feel like, well, geez, is that Tom's feet I see sticking out of the bus over there? And the pros, well, of course, I mean, it's a gig for them. They're not going to quit over something. But at the same time, why is everybody so happy?
Right.
So it's hard to get over that. It should not be hard to get over that. It's just TV. And Tom has been perfectly snarky and fun about it. So, but it's just kind of starts it with a bad taste. Mm-hmm. And then very, very many of those 15 people were not good.
Yeah.
And were not interesting. They were not bad in an interesting way.
Mm-hmm.
They were just kind of flailing.
Yeah.
So it reminded me of the fact that people complain when you get a lot of ringers on there, but the ringers are so fun to watch.
Yes.
You get the sincere people who are going to learn to dance over this 10-week period or whatever.
Right.
But episode 1 and episode 2 are not fun to watch. Mm-hmm. So I thought Justina did very well for herself. I thought she was adorable. I thought Nev was very good. I very much enjoyed his dance, even though Jenna is not my fave, and Catfish makes me uncomfortable. But he was going for it, and I liked that.
I was hoping for more from Johnny Weir, figure skater Johnny Weir.
Yeah, I was surprised he got the new pro. Mm-hmm. I thought they would have given him somebody a little more high profile, but...
Right. Maybe they thought that, because he should have some skills...
Right.
He would need a pro where they could be more of a choreographing partnership instead of
that's true.
Somebody who really felt like they needed to call all the shots. I don't know.
Right. Maybe. Skai was pretty good. The Disney girl.
She was good. She was fun.
My daughter was very excited to see her because she remembers her from all her Disney things. Mm-hmm. I thought the cheerleading coach would have a little more game, but she could come along. Mm-hmm. She probably has the basics. I was kind of interested in seeing how she does. And I thought Nelly was pretty good. He didn't get a good score, but I enjoyed their dance a whole lot.
Mm-hmm. And that's Pasha's wife, right?
Yes. Yes. She didn't get a partner last season, but she's got one now, and I think she's going to have one for longer than her husband is, unless there's a huge Tiger King voting block. Because Carol Baskin was every bit as awkward and awful as we expected she would be.
That was right.
So
they made you wait until the very last dance.
Yes.
That was the other thing. Tyra kept saying just incredibly inane things like, we've saved our last dancer for last, and we've saved our last pro for last also. Like, really? That's how math works.
I know. I heard that too, and I was like, what? But just saving Carol Baskin for last, I mean, I guess they feel like she's their most provocative contestant, but it just was like a giant energy suck at the end of the hour. Mm-hmm. It would have been fun to have somebody a little more peppy to go out on.
Yeah, agreed.
So I hope that there's not a huge Tiger King voting block that's going to be pushing her along.
Yeah, I'll maintain my opinion that I shared with you when this news first came out. Like, Tiger King was a beginning of lockdown thing.
Right.
No one wants to go back to that place and time. Like, please. Can we?
How long ago was Cheer on? It was around the same time,
It was probably the same time, yeah.
Because I only know of these things because I listen to the Bobby Bones podcast every day and they talk about them. Mm-hmm. So I know they were big into Tiger King for a while and they were big into Cheer. But I feel like, as you say, that was like beginning of pandemic.
Which feels like 100 years ago.
Yes. And something best
left in the past.
Like Carol Baskin, best given a pat on the head and sent on their way. And of course they leaned into that. So how much of a mess must Anne Heche be that Keogh got her instead of Carol Baskin?
Right.
Because he's the one who gets those contestants.
Exactly. I was certain they were going to give Carol Baskin to him.
Oh, dear. He must have been so happy for a minute and then,
Oh, wait. This one's just another Looney Tune. Oh, boy.
Oh, well. It was nice to have Sharna back with her pink hair. Mm-hmm. Different look.
Yes. Still cute. I like it.
Yes. There were so many contestants that I didn't have a chance during the show to think of this, but it's going to be weird not having Whitney and Lindsay there.
Yes.
Who are both off on maternity leave and showing their bellies on Instagram for various sponsors, as is their way. Right. But, they've just always been such a part of it. Mm-hmm. It's weird not to have them there, although right now at the moment they would be lost in the shuffle, but still.
Yeah, well, it just kind of like goes along with everything else we've lost.
Yes, I know. It's just so
Tom,
weird.
Erin, Whitney, Lindsay.
I know.
Hopefully they'll come back.
And Len, they propped Len up in front of a backdrop and said, say something nice so people aren't mad at us that you're not on the show.
Yeah, and I'm sorry. He couldn't come back because he couldn't fly during the pandemic. I don't think so.
Perhaps he just could see which way things were going and thought, I'm an old man. I think that would be unwise for me to engage in this. At least COVID gives him an excuse.
Yes.
To not. Derek!
Not
come on, Derek, sure.
Yes.
I thought the scores were appropriately low for a first episode of a season. Mm-hmm. I didn't agree with all of them, but I agreed that there should be some. Yeah. And it seemed like they were trying to be upbeat and yet constructive with their comments. So that's probably good.
Derek needs to stop leaning on the one thing I'll say is...
Yes.
Because that pretty much came out of his mouth for every single person.
Right. So what do you think? Are we gonna keep going with this?
I mean, I do like Justina. I thought Skai was really cute and fun. And, there's still pros that I like. So
yeah, I really liked the opening where they put the kind of the spotlight on all the pros dancing individually. I thought that was kind of nice, arriving at the thing. Right. And not just, I thought it was just going to be Tyra. And, put the spotlight on the people who are doing the work, please. And there are a few stars that I'm going to be looking for. The two of those and Nev, I think. I'll be keeping an eye on him. Mm-hmm.
And Johnny. We'll see.
And Johnny.
He might bring some flair.
Right. And I enjoyed Nelly also. Once he has dancing shoes that says sneakers, man, he's just going to rock it to the top.
That's right. That was Derek's one note, so...
That's right.
He needs to take it.
Yep. So, on Veronica Mars, we watched the unfortunately titled episode, The Rapes of Graff. Would you like to rant about that for a moment, Catherine? Because I know that you really enjoyed the titles of these episodes.
I mean, can we not, please, make puns about rape? Like, oh my gosh.
Yes.
And literature. And also... the whole thing depends upon you knowing or remembering or being told, which I can't remember if they did, that Troy, from the very beginning of season 1, that Troy's name is Troy Van de Graff, so that you can make this stupid pun. Like, really?
And did they bring him back just for the stupid pun? Because otherwise there's no need whatsoever for him to be in this, and I doubt we ever see him again.
Yeah. Unless
Did they just think of this pun and then think, oh yeah, we'll bring Ashmore back for this one?
I don't know. It's so ridiculous.
It really is awful. And I was surprised that the Veronica Mars Investigations folks seemed to enjoy this episode and rated it highly, because I thought it was a huge bunch of nothing wrapped in offensive paper. Mm-hmm. So why do we need this episode?
Yeah. We do not.
No. There is nothing that happened here that could not have been handled by 10 seconds of exposition in the next episode. Haven't seen Hannah lately. Oh yeah, she got shipped off to boarding school. We didn't really need to see her and Logan getting it on one more time. And I do not understand. We are now, I guess, to believe that she was a sophomore.
Right.
Why was she working at the senior carnival that was completely designed to make money for the seniors to have their trip? Wasn't that the point of that event?
Yes, I believe it was.
I felt that all the workers there were seniors. I guess the track team just said, hey, youngsters, come help us make money. But, so I just had been assuming, well, gee, guess she's a senior too. And then in this episode, she's suddenly, oh, my older senior boyfriend. Right. So, okay. Well,
and it does make it just that much
grosser.
Worse. Yeah, exactly.
Although, come on, seniors date sophomores all the time.
Right.
So, it's not that unusual, but...
I think it is unusual to be shipped to boarding school in the space of, like, an hour. This
is Neptune. Why aren't they all in boarding school, honestly? He's like, I suddenly realized that I have money. Well, I guess, does he have money?
He doesn't. That's
he doesn't
part
have
of
money.
His problem.
Is it a nice boarding school?
I don't know.
Or is it the boarding school in a Motel 6 that we were talking about in yesterday's episode?
I don't know. I just feel bad for Hannah no matter what. She did not, as we said, she gets broken up with, and, she has to worry that the whole thing was a sham from the beginning, plus her mom was right, plus she got shipped off without even saying goodbye to anybody.
Yeah, but at least she and Logan left in a place of reconciliation, shall we say? A clothingless place of reconciliation. Right. It wasn't like he dumped her and then she got shipped off to a boarding school. At least she got to,
right.
I don't know. She got him back.
She got to make
extremely
out with him one last time.
Oh, Logan. Nothing, everything you touch turns to trouble.
Yes.
And now a briefcase with details of your case, whatever small details that your reluctant lawyer would have had on you in his briefcase, has been stolen, presumably for that content.
Yes.
For reasons that we shall eventually find out, I suppose. But, Cliff. Yes, I enjoyed Keith's note to Veronica that he was off on a puzzling errand, which we, by that time, knew was Cliff.
Breaking Cliff.
Somehow managed to call him with his feet to come rescue him. That was very fun. Not fun for Cliff. Well, parts of it, I suppose, were fun for Cliff.
Yeah.
And anything that brings him back to our TV screens is welcome.
That's right.
And what else? Oh, the whole college. I mean, the 3-day college tour of the college that is in your town.
Right. Where they're previously sleeping at home. I don't understand it.
A previously unknown to us black hole of awfulness within the general Neptune suck zone.
Right.
So, really?
Yeah, I've never heard of a 3-day college tour, but hi, Michael Cera.
Yeah, really. So, when I was on Hulu, and the image they had up for this episode was of him, and I'm like, is that Michael Cera? That really looks like Michael Cera. What's he doing in a Veronica Mars episode? And then sure enough, there he was.
There he was.
Along with his Arrested Development cousin.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is just an completely unnecessary plot. And I'm happy for Wallace, although it looks like a really terrible place to go to college, man.
Right.
Really?
And you're still in Neptune, dude.
You couldn't get a scholarship anywhere else? Honestly?
I bet you could, Wallace, if you tried.
Really going to join that fraternity? You're acting excited about this? I don't know.
No, don't.
Man, I think you could do better. Reach for the stars, Wallace.
Yes.
Reach for at least like a state school in California. Mm-hmm. Somebody's going to take you, man.
Oh, yeah.
Did Neptune need one more? Well, I guess Neptune did need one more terrible institution because Veronica has to go to college in Neptune or else they have to change the show.
Right,
so.
Or else the whole show's over. So.
You could do better too, Veronica. Just like, hitting the road and getting a job at a diner would be better.
Right.
Just go. Flee.
And they didn't bring back, now I forgot the actor's name, but the one who was the juror.
Yes.
And who worked at this school.
Our friend from the West Wing.
Right.
Yeah. I thought that she might appear somewhere.
Yeah. Because her whole job in the episode with the jury was to introduce Hearst College to our consciousness.
That's right. She could be the person that Veronica busted the frat to instead of some dean who was there for one scene.
Right.
I don't know. It was not high on my list of favorite Veronica Mars episodes.
No.
And that is saying something because there have been many stinkers. But Dick continues to get his one scene of being in his name.
Right.
And, he performed it admirably.
Mm-hmm.
And meanwhile, his girlfriend is now making out in elevators with Sheriff Lamb.
Sheriff Lamb. Nice. That was also, I will say, a funny scene where Lamb was like, well, she's 18, it's fine. And they already had a campaign slogan for campaign poster printed of this.
Yeah.
Justification.
I am not sure, though, how I feel about Keith's main role this season, which is to every episode go in and challenge Lamb about something, where he is not ever necessarily on the right side of the question anyway.
Right.
Really? I want better for you too, Keith.
Right.
Are there really no private investigator jobs anywhere else in the world? Is there no other place that could use a sheriff? Why do people not leave this place? This place is clearly cursed.
Yes.
Honestly, find a better place
Everyone
to ply your trade. I just want to see all the characters I like getting in a minivan and getting the bleep out of town.
So who's that going to be?
Okay, let's see. Well, we would put, so we got Veronica and Keith and Cliff.
Wallace.
Yeah, Wallace. Absolutely, Wallace.
Wallace and his whole family. I mean, I know that Keith and Alicia are no more, but, you know, we don't want Wallace's little brother growing up in Neptune.
Bring them along. Absolutely. They should be in the front seat. And Mac and her nice family could come.
Right.
Although she would have to leave Cassidy behind, I think.
Yes, please. Cassidy's not invited.
No Casablancases are allowed on the bus. Absolutely not. Stay in Sodom and Gomorrah and, you know, be destroyed. But, I don't know. Logan? I don't know about Logan.
Logan, just like for his own sake, get him out of there. But
get him out of there.
Then take him somewhere else.
Damage has been done to that boy that was not his fault. So let's give him a clean start in a new place.
He can be like in a sidecar of this escape van.
Can strap him onto the roof.
Yes. And drop him off somewhere on their way.
That's right.
So he's out of Neptune, but
yes,
he's not part of their new
society.
Yes.
Perhaps somewhere in the future, man, you can make your way.
After your years of therapy, you may be allowed to join our commune. What were they called? The Mooncalf Collective.
That's right. Yes. I think the Mooncalf Collective would be good for Logan. Are they still there? They can just drop him there and say, just eat a lot of organic stuff and play the guitar.
Milk some cows.
Yes.
Grow
Heal
some
your
flowers.
soul, man. Oh, poor Logan. Anyway, I seem to end every episode saying that.
Yeah.
How about Weevil's no longer gang connected now, so he
Weevil can.
They can just find. Yeah, he can come along with his adorable
niece,
and whatever parent applies to her,
whoever,
grandma.
Yeah.
So they're the seeds of a decent place to live in that community, but they're never going to grow where they're planted.
No.
Well, next week, we will talk about the next episode of Veronica Mars, Season 2, number 17, Plan B.
Well, that's just what we were discussing.
Exactly.
Plan B.
I would like the Plan B to be the one that we just discussed, getting all the decent people the bleep out of Neptune. And we were gonna keep at it, watch another episode of Dancing with the Stars, except for some reason, because Tyra hates us. It's on Tuesday next week, which means that since we drop our episode on Tuesday, it's going to be too late for us. So what we will do is cover next week's episode and the episode after that the following Tuesday. And next week, Catherine, you want to tell us what you're going to be talking about next week and how you were inspired to have that little binge marathon?
Well, I will be talking about Outlander.
Outlander!
I started watching it a couple of weeks ago around the time I think that my daughter was getting ready to leave for school because it is extremely distracting. And then I had to have a certain medical procedure that required a day-long liquid diet and other unmentionable things. And I really needed a distraction for that. So I saved one entire season of Outlander. For that purpose, and it worked.
Okay, so you will share with me your experience watching Outlander, and we will catch up with the Dancing with the Stars the following week, unless we watch it and decide that no, we're out, and then we'll come up with something else. And that is going to be it for our Round 2 today. Please subscribe to our Parenting Roundabout podcast so you won't miss any of our episodes. We have something new for you every weekday. As always, you can find recaps, links, and an opportunity to comment on our website at parentingroundabout.com. Goodbye, Catherine.
Bye, Terry.
Goodbye, everybody.